right. Let's do our glare. The glare, I'm not used to doing live feeds in the day. Do it like this. There we go. So there we go. Let's see what that looks like. Is that a notification?
Yep.
Sweet.
Some guy named Snorlord is on YouTube.
That guy's a dork. Anyways, I figured Little Vine Coach. Little Vine Coach is an exception to the rule, but I figured everybody would be snowed in, sitting at truck stop, sitting at home. Why not talk? Because I know there's going to be some important live feeds tonight from friends, and so I don't want to step on those. And that's when my wife gets off work and the family will be hanging out. So why not do it live today? We're sitting here drinking our tea. I got my Booger Hollow cup, Booger Hollow Arkansas. Got that. So I know that a lot of you are sitting at home or sitting in your truck, can't deliver. There's about 17 states that are doing rolling blackouts, and Missouri is one of them. And so why not? Why not entertain the 17 people that are willing to come in here in the middle of the day? It's not too, I guess it's not too late in the afternoon, but anyways, we'll talk about, today is our 3rd year anniversary of when I delivered my last load at Schneider, so we can talk about that. That came up in you gotta love Facebook memories, right? Because they remind you, like the ones from my early and I'll get to the comments here. The one from my early Facebook days, I was pretty much a depressed wreck and didn't know how to handle my emotions. So it's a good learning experience to look back and see, an earlier mindset, right? And so that's one of the things I enjoy in the morning is I look at Facebook memories, it pops up and I find out when I bought my truck and when I bought my trailer and when I pulled my last Schneider load and all that kind of thing. And I can tell you guys about my last Schneider load, and we'll get into it, and what I think about light trucking now, and and what the future might hold. We might talk about that. So Little Viking Coach is in the house. Bob G, Dennis Richardville, trucking along with Kiersey. Hello, and yes, Spur here in. Oh, you in Springfield? Then you know exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about. bigrigceo, Clyde Garland, Grafton, John Armstrong. I'm frozen sitting in my hotel. Yep, you've been kind of stuck there for a little bit. Afternoon, Snorlord. Interesting weather, huh? Pileups there. Jackknife here. Alexander, absolutely. We'll talk about that too. Kiersey's in a hotel now. Are you at the Prime hotel? Or are you in the Prime? Or are you in the one of the surrounding ones? Let's see. Cluster Trucker, how's it going? Let's see. Nothing Witty's in the house. John Kirkpatrick, how's it going? So let's talk about the weather first. So I got a text from a friend that was trying to deliver in Dallas, Texas today, and nobody showed up to unload them. Guard told them that nobody's unloading today. Dallas has got rolling blackouts. Now, they announced they were going to do rolling blackouts here in Springfield, but then they rescinded that after doing a batch of 1. And those blackouts were only supposed to last between 30 and 60 minutes. The ones in Dallas, they're saying, are going to last until Tuesday. And so when you think of the fact that these people are feeling temperatures that they have never felt in their lifetime, I imagine the plumbers are going to be busy with all the frozen pipes, and they're looking at a dangerous situation. And then take away the power on top of that. You build a house in North Dakota, you prepare it for that kind of weather. There are things that you've done, and put together just for the sake of living up there. But in Dallas, those houses aren't built like that. So I imagine it's probably pretty much a nightmare, and they're seeing single digit numbers. And yesterday was the first time that all of Texas, from the northernmost county to the southernmost county along Mexico, were under a winter weather advisory or warning of some kind. And so this has been an unprecedented weather event, something that you can't even control. Hey, Clyde, what's up? Grafton, TC Box, getting good at holding down this hotel. Yep. You're at the Oasis in the jacuzzi suite, not going anywhere. There you go. If you're going to be stuck in this, that's the way to do it. Southerners don't even have coats and gloves, right? And then when you're dealing with negative temperature, wind chills, I mean, that's how they flash freeze vegetables. You guys buy those frozen vegetables from Walmart or Bluebird, Blue Eye, whatever. That's the temperature they do it at. And so I was out in the elements sweeping off the porch, and for 5 minutes, and my hand got burned. Still showing signs of redness, and it just being out there for 5 minutes last night, and then the cars barely started. I got them started today, and I'll start them again here probably another couple hours, and I'll start them every 6 hours just to kind of make sure that they're good to go, and then next morning hopefully they start, because today is supposed to be the lowest we're going to go. So it snowed in Galveston. Yeah, that's true. Thomas Wilson, what's up? James Bass does rolling blackouts, but that's only when he's driving. Rick, how's it going? My sister is in Hawaii, record low of 61 degrees. They don't have heaters or heavy blankets. Yep, I mean that's the thing. It's like I said, it's unprecedented. So it's overloading the power circuits. It's overloading the gas pipelines. It's kind of a mess, and at some point there's just absolutely no direction to go. And so I knew that once the temperatures hit the cold, I wasn't even going to try to start the truck. The APU's been going off every couple hours. I've got it set for a certain voltage to come on, and it's literally been running almost nonstop. Every couple hours it goes on and runs for 2 or 3 hours and then shuts off. I haven't really timed it. Thank God for the APU. The APU is running strong, knock on wood. The pipes at our other house, we have no idea what they're like. We can't even get to them. We can't even get to the house. And according to some family members, the city water system wasn't working correctly anyways. So, so we might have to deal with that when I get done with this last batch of weather. TJ Jones, it went from 18 degrees at 0800 to 40 at 1400 here after 2+ feet of snow in 72 hours. Raining now, it's sloppy out there. So, no, I don't have a plug-in for my truck, James Best. That's the thing. I don't have a plug-in. You would think that all X Prime trucks would have that plug-in, and it doesn't. The Peterbilt had a plug-in, but this one don't. So who knows what the filters are going to look like. You're picking avocados today. That's good. Little Vine Coach, my wife made the other day, she made breaded with almond flour, fried slivers of avocado. It was really good. Very keto-y treat. It was fried in olive oil. So, getting worse through Wednesday and Thursday sucks. We enjoy all of this global warming. It's downright tropical. Well, TC Boggs, that's the people that talk about the global warming. What they'll actually say is the global warming is going to cause a new ice age, and that's kind of what we're going through now or something like that. So, according to Weather Channel, the Arctic wave is supposed to rain havoc up here in Ohio until the end of the week. I still pity the Southerners, though, because most of them aren't used to this. Not only are they not used to it, but they are not equipped to handle it. I mean, they had pileups in Nashville. They had pileups on 49. They had pileups in 55 in Mississippi. Everywhere you look, you were seeing a fiery wreck of some kind or another. And, and when you deal with the state that might get snow once every 3 years or something, and they just let Mother Nature take care of it the next day, they're not equipped to handle 20, 10, type degree temperatures. So it's and I guarantee that's kind of what's happening going on in Dallas too. Yeah, James says, "Ouch." Yeah, I couldn't start my truck now if I wanted to, nor would I be brave enough to. I took out a gallon jug of water I had in there, and it was literally a brick. Literally, like, just, it was frozen through and through. Like, I put it in the deep freezer, and I threw it in the back of my pickup, and it made a noise. That's how bad it was. Looking at Outback menu, looks like ribeye will be dinner tonight. There you go, John. Hey, Steve, negative 28 in South Dakota last night. Greg, are you up there? Is that where you're at? I haven't looked to see where you're at there. Yeah, I mean, well, we got a driver up there in North Dakota, and he gives me weather reports all the time. It's kind of harsh conditions. Steak and eggs with a little smashed up avocado is my go-to meal. Same here. A lot of times, if I can't get avocados, what I'll do is I'll buy the Walmart guacamole, which is straight avocados. That's it. And that helps. That helps too. Don't forget the bloomin' onion, John. Absolutely, that is a standard. The reporters down in Louisiana were saying the governor told them they had not a single salt and plowing truck in the whole state. That is absolutely true. Chucky, what's up? I might just run APU full time. It practically is full time, James. It practically is. So there's really not much I could do. Yeah, when it's that cold, it ain't worth breaking down and spending more money. So, John, you bring up a good point. So, when I talked to my peers and told them that I've been at home, I could try to get the truck fired up. I could try to get it warmed up. I can even do the old school trick of the charcoal underneath the engine compartment. I can even do that. But in the end, what am I going to do? Go into an icy area and have to shut down. And if I shut down, I have to idle the truck the complete time, and that still may not even fix the fuel gelling issue. It's just, between that and the risk of tow and the risk of shutting down and being late on the load and everything else, and then whatever product I have, I can't have a freeze protect product. It wasn't worth it. I'll take the loss this month and then try to make it up next month. If that little APU filter gels, it's game over. So far, it's doing really good. I put a lot of anti-gel in that tank, and I put some 911 in that tank as well. So far, it's been doing pretty good. Sit on fire, collect the insurance. Never know, right? Sergeant Ringo, what's going down? So, but YouTube with attitude, what's up? And and I was watching YouTube's video about the Tulsa ice, and that was kind of the beginning of this whole debacle. But did you use Trucker Wild video? He gelled up and had to get towed. Did you see? No, I did not see that. But that happened. I didn't have to get towed, but that did happen to me in Ohio a couple of years ago. Because I didn't idle the truck and thought that APU was enough, and it wasn't. That was 10 below zero temps. And now my rule of thumb is 15 degrees above zero is my go-to temp to idle the truck, regardless of what I'm doing. So there ain't no storm solar cranked up his amps to 11. 11, right? What is my weather there? I'll show you. It is cold. I just showed you all our recycling. Wild's fuel gelled up while driving. Yes, that can happen while driving, guys. I mean, and And it doesn't matter if it's Northern Fuel. For example, there was a friend of mine that runs constantly Pennsylvania. He fuels all the time in Pennsylvania. And he gelled up the same day I did that I was in Ohio. And he was in Pennsylvania. And he still gelled up running the truck. So, there's just certain temps that it just doesn't matter unless you're running. There's a reason why everybody in North Dakota runs number one diesel up there. So, mm. Speaking of your last load for Schneider, how did you feel when you were finished with it? Alexander, look, I did not leave Schneider on bad terms. I did not leave because I was desperate to get away from them. We could talk about the Schneider thing. So my last load to Schneider was a load drop and hook at Menards there in Saginaw, Michigan, and I put in that I didn't want an empty because I was going to see family. I was taking a couple of days off, so they did not. And I kind of convinced Menards to say that they didn't have an empty. So I put in the check call that won't release empties, and then I bobtailed over to Jeff's house. Actually, I stayed at the Flying J there in Saginaw, and then bobtailed the next day. Um, and then I ended up taking. I didn't take a load out of Michigan. I took my trailer back to Missouri so I can get a plate for it, and um, and then I called them Monday morning and said, "Hey, it's been nice. Where do I need to send the stuff? It's already been taken off." And then that was it. And it was there really it was the emotion was more relief because and anxiety because I was starting a new venture, but I probably would still be at Schneider if it wasn't for like trucking. I did have another offer to go to Green Miles, but at the time I didn't want to run reefer, and and I had already told Jeff that I was going to come over there first. So um, and that's on the short list of people I would go to if I wasn't at like trucking. So a lot of these guys leave Schneider and they're like, oh, good riddance. I wasn't like that at all. I look, I'm not under the same pressures that the Schneider finance guys were. Um, I didn't have nearly the amount of problems that a lot of those guys did. And was the money better? Yeah, but all it did was make me work less. I pretty much kind of stayed in my same lanes and stayed in my same running area, with the exception of a couple of loads to Florida. I didn't. I'm not a. I don't chase the big money because usually if you're chasing the big money in the spot market, there's a reason why there's big money because you're going either into a dead end market or you're dealing with some BS, and so I keep things pretty even keeled. The most important thing about any platform, whether it be Schneider, Landstar, or the spot market, is consistency, and that's something that that for those of you who are switching from Schneider to the spot market or switching from another carrier to the spot market, that's the name of the game. Um, and I've talked about that at length, and I have my own system, I have my own style, and there are reasons why I do what I do the way I do it. So let's see some more comments here. Um, did Jeffrey give me an anniversary gift like a pen? No, he did not. Fuel filter heaters, fuel rail heaters, inline coolant heaters, gas torch, and roll, baby. There you go. I've heard the trick is to put a diaper on the glass bowl there. I've heard that's a good trick too. I beat the storm so far, went Buffalo, then south to Charlotte. Now hopefully come back to the Midwest tomorrow behind it. Yeah, you're still going to deal with that cold though. Couldn't use the bunk heater either. -19 and tanks got cold while driving from the wind. Yeah, that's the thing. If your tanks are exposed, that's gonna hurt too. I've gelled up 3 times in my career. Um, Once was in the Peterbilt on -20 temperatures. Once was in a company truck with negative temperatures. I was down a whole week in Carlisle, Pennsylvania on that one. And then I gelled up in Ohio a couple years ago. And who knows, I'm probably gelled up now if I want to go out and start the truck. So, um, I don't know what the special deal is with number one, John. Um, I remember one cold year, my airlines kept on freezing up. I had to put alcohol in the airlines by the air compressor. It's not fun losing air in -5 degree weather. I've dealt with that too. Um, that's why it's important to drain your tanks and change out the air dryer filter in October, November, and that'll usually help that a little bit, but not by not 100%. Any gel didn't help Wild, and he used a lot of his tanks. And that's the thing, guys. That there are different ratings for different anti-gel, and sometimes it's just there's nothing you can do. This biodiesel turns to crap in this kind of weather, and I imagine there's a lot of down trucks in Texas. If you live in Texas or any of these southern states where they've had fuel gelling temperatures, you are looking at a long wait time for repair. You are looking at a long wait time to get into any shop. If you don't know how to change your own fuel filters, it's a good time to learn because it's absolutely just going to be nuts in these shops for the next. That's why I was in Carlisle at Kenworth there for a week because um, because there was like 18 trucks in there at the same time with the same problem I had. They called it a fuel pump issue, but I think one caused the other. So, number one, diesel's mixed with kerosene that keeps it from gelling. Okay, thank you. You made it south of freeze. That's good. Oh darn! I did voice thing for writing the question. It misspelled Schneider. That's all right. I know what you meant. Marty, please find me a good, clean mold out of Denver, Colorado tomorrow. Good luck. Um, you don't see them as much anymore, but the answer to gelling fuel in the Arctic Fox fuel system, freight companies use them for years, and some still do. Right. My son asked me today, what the like what do they do up in there in Alaska and Canada, like on the ice road truckers, and I said they did a little thing on how they prepare. Those trucks are equipped for that, you know. No, we have not, TC Box. We haven't had any issues. A lot of our guys stayed home, and the ones that are running smart. Not saying that anything can't happen, but for the most part, when you're in a choose your own freight system, it's a lot easier to avoid the bad weather. You know. For your 5th year anniversary of Like Trucking, you get a brand new truck. Only thing is you have to pay for it. Yeah, that's how we go down there, Dennis. Wow was in Missouri. Yep. Oh, okay. Sucks if you lose a hose and you fix the hose but don't know how to get the air out. Let's see. Thomas and John, most on here don't even know, but replace the DEF filter in the bottom of the DEF tank. I just replaced mine. That's the other thing. If you're not idling your truck, if your DEF freezes, it freezes at 16 degrees, and the truck's got to be running for that to heat up. So if you don't idle your truck, and you manage to able to get restarted, and you don't gel up, you still need to idle that truck to get that truck up to temp before you start rolling. So those heaters inside that DEF tank are working. The Manic Brit, Schneider just messaged my truck saying OC at Portland, Dallas, Houston, West Memphis, and Carlisle because of weather conditions. In other words, they're not. Yeah, in other words, they're not letting you out. So that's the thing about Schneider. OMG, this Loves I'm at is insane. I bet. Which one are you at, Dave? Are you Fort Worth Loves? Because if you are, I know exactly what you're dealing with. Or no, Hutchins. Are you at the one in Hutchins? You're either Hutchins or Lancaster. You're Lancaster, lock your doors. But how steep is too steep of a hill or mountain for a semi to safely traverse up? I don't know. Is that a trick question? Um, just depends on the conditions and where you're at and what you're pulling and hauling and everything else. James Best, I would disagree on the Loves. Loves is building things in weird places, in oddball places, and it's been nice. And they're doing the parking lot right. Like the new one that they just rebuilt in Memphis, West Memphis. Plenty of swing room if you got to back into a spot. Plenty of spots. You know, you got a Loves there in Topeka, Kansas now. So instead of having to go 50 miles to scale a load and hope that it's right, out of that dog food or cat food plant, you can scale right there. Truck for Life says Loves has the best showers. Marty says not clean mold, good paying load. You gotta love voice to text, right? There is no such thing as a good paying load out of Denver unless you're going into a deader area. I think that's it. Look at my video listed as sliding on the mountain and you'll see what a tanker does on a snowy hill. I bet. I don't like Loves. I've only stayed at Loves maybe 10 times in a year. Well, look, Loves is like any other chain. There are good ones and bad ones. Just like J Petro, just like Pilot, Flying J. And the new Loves, they're doing them right. The old Loves, well, you might as well be going to Pilot. I do know that it's more of a pain in the butt to fuel at a Loves or a Pilot Flying J because they've got all the discounts from the mega carriers and they tend to have more issues. But for the most part, I really don't have a preference. As long as it gives me a safe place to park and they got good coffee, we're good. So, Sergeant Ringo. I get the jobs because I'm a baller and I get it cheap. If I'm correct, Loves don't charge for parking unlike the rest. Right. And so when you, like, for example, Claymore, Missouri there, or not Missouri, Indiana. Mooresville, I'm sorry. Exit 59 I-70. You got the Loves and the TA there. Well, everybody's going to fill up the Loves first for the free parking. But, more than likely, if you're getting there late, you're going to have to reserve a spot at the TA. Or, just stay at one of the big, huge rest areas around Indy. I would use Loves more if they actually had diners and not fast food chains. It's getting hard to find TAs that haven't closed their country prides. COVID took a lot of the country prides out that they were keeping open, and now you still have Iron Skillet at Petro, but like the TA there in Effingham, they are, you go in and it's like a little food court, like you're at the mall. They've got a Sbarro's, a Dunkin' Donuts, and Popeyes, and and it's like a food court. You feel like you're at the mall as a teenager, seeing what food you want. I hate to bring this up, but casino parking is pretty good. Why do you hate to bring that up? There's nothing wrong with casino parking. I enjoy casino parking all the time. Sometimes that's the only safe place you can park in a bigger city. Bacon and egg sandwich before Satan himself wakes up in the morning. But so I don't know. I weather just sucks right now. I mean, the snow. It's so cold that the snow is powdery. You can't even put it into a snowball. It literally brushes aside like broom, like a sand, and then we're supposed to finally get above freezing Saturday. It's going to be 32 degrees Saturday. So, full English breakfast. So much energy to start an ice cold cat. Why are you trying to start cats, the whole? That's my question. Not gonna lie, but I had a dream with you in it. I was sweeping, and then you showed me a check that you got, and you said it was because you knew how to cook very good. Being real 100%, it was a legit dream. That's funny. I wish I did get paid well to cook. I tried that route, and I did not get paid well. No. Always like the mom and pop truck stops for eating, but I haven't been on the road in 20 years, so I don't know how many of them out there are left. Dennis, there's not very many left. And the ones that did remain, COVID is all but shut them down, or they've changed their platform, or they've been bought out. Like Ambest is buying a lot of these mom and pops, and they're trying to turn them into the next TA Petro kind of deal. Jones Travel Center in Lebanon, Missouri comes to mind on that. Lancaster, I guess, too small and a hill where you enter so nobody stops. Yeah, okay, well, definitely lock your doors there, Dave. So. Nobody here who'll, except for maybe Britt. That was it. How many of you can relate to D16A and Scania V8s? Only you and maybe one other person in here. Thomas Wilson has a wife slash cook slash security system. Better believe it too. So, but yeah, so 3 years at Light Trucking. Today's the third year anniversary that I've been here and delivered my last load for Schneider, and it's definitely been a roller coaster of a ride, that's for sure. Actually, Scania's kind of rock. Your pack car won't start? Are you asking or telling me? Yeah, James Best started a week before me, so by this time, at this time 3 years ago, he was already like making brokers mad, hanging up on him like a week before I even got here. So James Best has great stories of like his negotiating skills was having brokers hang up on him because he was asking way too much money. But hey, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? Thank goodness Home Depot had playground sand. Another trick is if you can find like this kind of works in ice storms, but I still have it maybe in the truck, but if you keep like I was at Truck World there in Ohio off of 80, 90 or whatever. And they had these telescopic shovels, and I grabbed one, and it fits in the side box, and a friend of mine showed me a trick. If there's no snow on the ground, or if you can get to the ground, dirt, you use the shovel to get to the dirt and throw that on instead of having to haul sand or kitty litter around. So I intended to work a year OTR and then go local 5.5 years later, still OTR crazy. Kiersey, a lot of us had that plan. And it I had that plan too, and it did not work that way. So I'm thinking about flying to Indy to get my truck on board as heck. You're asking? I haven't tried, nor will I. I won't try until the weather gets above freezing. Clyde Garland, do you want me to announce where you're going? I could do it. Here in glorious Europe, they have many sandboxes by steep grades. They have sand. Yeah, we got that too. You guys are so innovative. In Europe, also, you have to have a card to put in the ELD to start the truck up. I do know that. So I learned that from watching what's her name's channel, Angelica Larson. So gotta go get your ribeye. Be back in time. That's fine. Don't matter to me. Great deal. Clyde Garland. Those of you look in the chat right there. Look in the chat. He is our newest member of Like Trucking, another ex-Schneider guy who's happy to be in the spot market. And he's coming in at a most glorious time when the weather sucks on 90% of the country, and the rates are look, the rates are actually doing pretty good. They are lower than they have been, but this weather has got all the rates screwed up. It's got all the freight screwed up. It's got all the markets screwed up. Things aren't getting delivered. Things aren't getting picked up. Things can't be delivered. There's going to be detention and layover pay through the roof, and there's going to be delayed shipments and rescheduled shipments. It's going to be chaos for a minute, at least for another week. About 2 weeks. Um, and and so Clyde, you're coming in at a perfect time, because if you come in, look, here's the deal. If you come into the spot market when it's too easy, when it gets hard, you're going to struggle. That's the gist of it. That I've seen it over and over. I saw it at Landstar. I saw it here. If you come in on a high upward market, and when it starts to fall down a little bit, you freak out. Next thing you know, you're sitting for a couple of days because you don't want to move your truck for less than X amount per dollars per mile, whatever. And that's just the nature of the beast. Whereas if you come in, having to fight for every dollar in the beginning, then when the market is really good, then you have a much easier time. So like Trucking has a Clyde. You have to get a Bonitude and bonus points at 13. Who do I like better, Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock? I don't know. How many cheesy movies is Steve Austin in? Because I was flipping channels yesterday or the other day on the TV, and Fast and Furious, not the first one, but one of the later ones came on. And it was the cheesiest, most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. I literally got through the first crash scenes, and I laughed, and then we changed the channel. So I would probably go with Steve Austin. Thanks, James. Just hanging out at a hotel, waiting on drug tests. I wanted to wait until truck was paid for to have breathing room and learning curve. Yes, Clyde, that I knew about you, and that is the smartest thing to do. You are among a couple of people I know, or 3 people I know, that have recently joined the spot market from Schneider after paying their trucks off. And that's the way to go. That is definitely the way to go. I see right now there's this mass exodus at Schneider. I see it on the Facebook pages, the Schneider owner-operator pages, and everybody's jumping ship with their $4,000 a month truck notes. And I don't recommend that. I mean, you can probably get by if you got a good work ethic and you're smart about it, but at the same time, it definitely doesn't give you any breathing room whatsoever. I've seen that. I've seen the spot market chew up and spit out some of them SFI guys with the SFI payments. You feel like they're cheating you when the load pays 40 cents less per mile the following week. Team Tiny, I agree with that. I agree, because it does. It feels that's a hard mental thing to take when, a load that I did for $1,500, now I'm lucky to get $900 for. I mean, depending on the market. So that's definitely a kick in the teeth. But you can negotiate, you can be patient, but a lot of times you can only lose loads over $50 here and there. Until you just got to take something, or else you're sitting for a couple of days. That was the mistake I made at Landstar. I would when the market started to go down, I was still holding to my guns and not moving, and that was a problem. So yeah, I definitely feel that. And when I hear guys talk about getting out of Georgia for only $2 a mile, I'm like, oh boy, you're gonna struggle a little bit. You're gonna struggle when the market goes back down. Putting an SOS out. I'll be in Denver tomorrow. Look for a load. Post yourself on the DAT board there, Marty. I need that tactical shovel that I can chop down trees or bake cookies, says Dave. Imagine that's out there. Clyde, the Hool says, Clyde, you should pay attention to Steve. He's one of those don't let my haircut fool you type of guys. Yep. And by the way, having this in the cold weather is awesome. Just so you know. So, but if you guys got any questions, I believe we might have a couple of spots opening up at Like Trucking. You got any questions about that kind of thing? I can help you out. We are down about 25% on drivers on Tanker IC, and you're spot on about $1,100 a week truck payment, and I paid mine off last October. Good deal. And look, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys something. If you went to Schneider and got an SFI truck and you paid it off, or you got it refinanced at the end of the 3 years to where your truck payment's only like $1,000, $1,100, $1,200 a month, you're going to be better equipped to go to the spot market than I was, because you've had to hustle. You've had to make every minute, make every mile count. You've had to fight for your money. You had to fight hard, and therefore you're a better fighter. And so you've got the tools. If you can accomplish that, you've got the tools to make it. That's the key. And that's why Jeff targets the Schneider guys, because he knows that they know how to hustle if they got their act together. And I've got, I know a lot of Schneider guys that have switched over, and they're doing well because they knew how to hustle. So yeah, you're right, Thomas Wilson. I've seen that out of Georgia as well. Cascade says start over. Whatever. By the way, Cascade, you need to come down to Springfield and take the weather back up with you. Your weather is drunk in my yard, and I want it to go home. That's what's going on. Are you neighbors with the Simpsons because you both live in Springfield? No. They've made it very clear that the Springfield was Portland, Oregon. So. And by the way, now there's some similarities, but we don't have a nuclear power plant here. We don't have a tire fire here. But we do got comic book store guy. We do got that guy. And we have a lot of Beavis and Buttheads. Oh wait, that's not Simpsons. So no burning tire pile. Nope. So congratulations to Clyde. Can't wait to get you over here. You picked a fine time to be in Michigan. Clyde, if you're still in here, do I still have your number? If so, text me, and you and I will have a conversation later today. So, because I think I have your number, but I don't know how current it is. I don't want to be texting some weirdo that has your old number and who the hell's this? Which has been kind of common here lately. Other than that, if you guys got no other questions, we'll end this live feed. We've been doing this for 44 minutes. Yeah, Bob tailed up from Findlay last night. Maybe here a while if weather gets crazy. Yeah, like I said, Clyde, give me text me. Make sure I've got your number, and we'll have conversations. So. Me too. Okay, I'll check it out. If not, I'll get your number from Jeff. No big deal. Or you get my number from Jeff. One of the two. Or if you still got my contact info, right? Just text me anyways. Congratulations on your 3rd year. Yep. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean it's been a crazy ride. I mean I paid off the truck, and it's enabled me some freedom, and I like owning my own trailer. That's the other thing. It's like sometimes you miss the drop and hook for being able to book loads or whatever, but having your own trailer is kind of nice. You're never gonna, how many of you Schneider guys have went to go pick up a trailer and it's got rims instead of tires, or you got bird's nest in the taillights that you got to change out. There's none of that. You know exactly what you're getting. So that's kind of nice, and it's air ride. It's none of that spring ride. And get this, people actually sometimes let a non-orange trailer over in the left lane if you need to pass somebody. Yeah, I'm renting a trailer right now, probably 3 to 6 months and buy my own. There you go. Someone told me that Hyundai was back ordered till 2023. So if you want to order a Hyundai trailer, you can't even order it right now because they're backed up so bad. COVID hit them hard. No spring ride in Springfield. It's nice having that air slide too. I know James Best doesn't like the air slide, but it's nice having that air slide. So, but at any rate, guys, thanks for watching. We're gonna end this feed. Stay warm, stay safe out there. Make sure you got food and water in the truck, because a lot of these truck stops might be in rolling blackouts. And I would like to switch to van, but never pulled one. I only pulled tanker. Daryl, we got a couple of guys that pulled vans for the first time over here. There's really not much difference. If you know how to back, you're good. In fact, I hung out with a friend of mine that pulls tank, and it's actually kind of easier to see around the sides of the trailer on a van. So, there's nothing to it really. Tears, note free, and then go get yourself a brand new W9. I don't know. I don't see a new truck in my feet. Look, if I was to get a new truck right now, I'd be hard pressed to either pick the Volvo like Provost or that new 680, that next gen 680 that's coming out. That looks like a sweet truck. I shared a video on it on my Facebook. So, Cat, you ain't going out. Sorry. Cats look at me like, if cats could curse, this one would be cursing at me right now. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Stay warm, stay safe, and until then, we'll see you later. No, you don't know.